January is actually fast approaching. We are beginning of November now. Before we know it, we'll be mid-December and we'll be thinking about what we need, who we need, how much shall we have to spend, is there anyone going to be going out the door? As of now, November the 11th, what do we need for January?
So I've been saying, I put a tweet out, this has been so hard for me. This window, as the window shut, I was like, okay, we've got what we got. Obviously, barring injuries that have happened, which we didn't know when it shut, I felt we really left ourselves short on left wing. I thought left wing. I was like, we need a left winger, and I thought the reason we didn't sign a left winger is Frank may have his #1 target that couldn't come in the summer, may be able to get in January, and we didn't want to waste money. And because we all say, oh, why do we spend this much money rather than getting the right player? So I thought, okay, we could address the left winger, whatever may be needed come January. Then I started thinking, right, we need a striker because we can't score for Toffee up front. Then after the Chelsea game, I was like, do you know what, we need Morgan Gibbs-White or that number 8. I was like, that because it doesn't matter if we have a striker up there. If you can't get the ball to him, what's the point of having him up there? Because if you can't get the ball, create chances. And now, after seeing Copenhagen and Manchester United, I have got at the top of my list the most important player for Frank and Spurs and Enoch is to go sign a left-sided left-back. I think those are the 4 areas I think we need. I don't think we'll cover all 4 in January, but I really hope and pray a second left-footed left-back is high on the priority list because of the balance and how much better we look with Destiny.
So you're saying left-back, left wing, number 8
and a striker is what I personally. Obviously, January I can't see it all happening.
So on left back, I completely agree. I think we need a left back. I think Jed Spence needs to be solely on the right back. Look, it doesn't say that sometimes Jed can't play left back because in the odd game when we're desperate for it, it's just a great tool to have that he can go at left back and do a competent job. But I think in general, let's keep him on the right and let's bring in a left back in January. I totally agree. And I think in terms of a left back, it's something that we've been speaking about for a long time, to be honest. So it's time we address that situation. And it has to be a left-footed left-back.
Yes,
someone that can go on the outside, bang. In terms of the striker, though, like obviously Dom, Richie, Muani. Muani's not as bad as first feared. We're hoping that he can come back in around 4 weeks and make an impact. Obviously, January transfer window won't be open by then. Solanke, I mean, God knows what's going on with Solanke. Seriously, I just don't understand this whole Solanke situation. Like, 3 bloody international breaks ago, he was like, it's just, it's a minor knock. Like, he'll be back after the international break. We're sitting here 3 months later, and we're none the wiser. And now he's saying, oh, yeah, maybe we'll see him back in 2025. Like, that's not someone that we can rely on.
No.
That is not someone we can rely on. So unless he makes a very, quick recovery and we start seeing him soon, is that the guy that is going to be that full guy for the striker's position?
It's going to be him or Richarlison, isn't it? Because I think there is genuine interest from Everton. I don't think there ever will not be genuine interest in. I think we heard all the times with Saudi Arabia, Brazil were after him. He was like, no, I want to stay in the Premier League. World Cup year, and obviously if he doesn't start getting game time, but I think if Everton come calling, it'll be too good of a. He'll find it hard to turn it down. Of all the Premier League clubs, I've said it time and time again. I would do everything humanly possible to bring Ivan Toney in on 6-month loan. Doesn't matter if you get rid. Obviously, one of them will need to go, but Ivan Toney for 6 months to come in, play under Thomas Frank. Not like I know a lot of people say Dusan Vlahovic or this striker from a foreign league. All well and good, but when you need goals and you need them quick, you're getting it from Ivan Toney. You're getting it playing under Frank. The only problem is, obviously, the wages. And
it's like 400k or something?
His club will have to pay a huge, you'd say 50% or more of the wages, wouldn't you? A minimum. I mean, what is it? Romero's on 190, so we're not going to say, "Oh, Tony, come on loan and we'll pay 200." That's
why would they do that?
Exactly. That happens with loan teams, don't they?
It does, but it mainly happens with loan players that they want to get rid of. I don't think they want to get rid of Tony.
Well, we'll soon see. We'll soon
That's the
see.
problem. I don't see why his team.
Would Ivan Toney kick a fuss up because he want to try and get his way into the England World Cup squad?
That's the only thing.
That's what I'm holding on hope. I think it's due. I think obviously Thomas Frank, I would hope, has had a phone call or Paratici has spoken to the club to see if it's at all doable. But I think if you're looking for a striker to come in January to get us the goals that we're sorely missing, to come in that knows this league inside out, has shown he can do it inside out, can also knows immediately what Thomas Frank will want to do. I don't think we could find a better striker available to come in immediately and start scoring than Ivan Toney.
Well, there's a couple of. It seems like there's going to be a couple of strikers on the market in January. There's him potentially. There's Dusan Vlahovic, like you mentioned. There's also Jonathan David. Like Jonathan David has been really poor for Juventus, but smashed it out for Lille last season. Doing really well consistently for Canada, as you well know. Would you take him?
Right, so Dusan Vlahovic, I think he's a really good striker, but the problem is he comes in, if it's a 6-month loan we're talking about, he comes in and it's whether he sets the world alight or not. He has to set the ground running. I mean, if he does, he has all the potential to be a raging success. But if it takes him time to settle, it could be a flop. It could be a huge flop. Jonathan David's an interesting one, and it's hard for me not to be a little bit biased with this one because of my Canada roots, shall we say. I think he could. When we was available,
I don't let you calm down. You'll be harping on about Tajon Buchanan in a few minutes.
I wasn't going to say if we could bring in a player, I would. Oh, mate, Tajon, I would love us. Who's actually smashing it.
He's Villarreal,
he obviously had a quiet game against us, but is doing very, very well for them. Jonathan David, it's weird because he can. Sometimes he plays better coming off of the wing, and not as an out-and-out striker. But in England, he has the attributes to be that out-and-out striker, especially playing off Xavi.
He's another instincts one, isn't he?
He's a very, very instinctive player. He's got pace to burn. Pace to absolutely burn. The other thing with Dusan Vlahovic, I don't know if he speaks English, or if there's a problem with that. Jonathan David has that coming in immediately with no problem. I would have loved us to have got him before he went to Juve. Obviously, he made his choice. But never say never when Juventus are involved when we got Paratici. I think Jonathan David... Put it this way, if I had the choice for who I think could set the ball rolling, if they came in January on loan and it was those three, it would be Toney, Jonathan David, Dusan Vlahovic.
I'd go the other way. I'd go Toney, Dusan Vlahovic, then Jonathan David. I think there's just big question marks about Jonathan David and if he can do it in the Premier League. And I think we need more of a physical striker, in my opinion, in the number 9. I think Toney is that, Vlahovic is that, Jonathan David not so much.
Yeah, well, maybe my Canadian bias did kick in a bit more than I thought. But I think he has, again, like I said, you could find Jonathan David dangerously on the wing or just coming off in the inside, playing off a Solanke, for instance, getting balls down. They're three interesting ones, aren't they? But I think we definitely need to explore another centre-forward in January.
Yeah. In terms of the number 8, though, where would a number 8 fit in? And what would happen to the likes of Lucas Bergvall, Pape Matar? Would one of them need to leave?
Do you know what? I think a better way to look at this before going back to talk about incomings is this is a whole new world for us, all Spurs fans, going into a window without that man and this whole new setup. But it's also, I think there's more importance on seeing how we operate getting players out the door, because we have for years struggled to get players out the door, let players stagnate, let their values drop, do like Brian Hill, send them out on loan after loan after loan. I think it's vital we start looking at players that could potentially Spurs look to move on to then.
But surely Lucas Bergvall, Pape Sarr aren't on that list.
No, they wouldn't. But do you? We're talking about Bentancur. He's just signed his new contract.
Yeah.
Do you make Paulinho? I will sign Paulinho tomorrow if I could.
But in terms of all the midfielders that we've got, because we've got a lot of midfielders at this football club. So I'm struggling to see how we can sign one without letting one go. And as well, on top of that, you've got the problem with the Champions League squad and the European squad about we had to leave Tell out, for example. Like if we sign another midfielder, someone is going to have to come out, surely. So who is that player that's going to have to come out?
It's the thing. This is what we were talking before we came on. I think with our midfield, I think we might mention this as well. There are a lot of young players in there, rightfully so or whatever, that are just the same player. We've got so many. You look at it: Archie Gray, Bergvall, Sarr, ball carriers, energetic, good passers. They're very, 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 very similar, and I think that's hampered what we could do with our midfield. As much as I was saying, and I do believe.
So which one's leaving then?
Do you know what? With the way things are going, I think Bergvall and Sarr have broken through, haven't they? Do you give Archie Gray a 6-month loan spell?
Nah. I think Archie Gray is thriving every time he gets on the pitch.
But would you say for guaranteed minutes, I mean like at a Bournemouth or something like that, to clear the deck to bring it? Not saying, but I'm saying, would that be an avenue to bring one? I think that's the most easiest avenue.
The thing is with Archie Gray, and why he's so valuable is because he can play other positions as well.
Yeah.
And if we're in some sort of injury crisis, which, you know, we love to be in one of those, I think Archie Gray can fill in those positions.
Yeah.
And as well, when he is on the pitch, he's getting better every time we see him. So I think you've got to keep Archie.
Okay, I don't want to sell him. I do not want to sell him.
But even alone, like, I think you've got to keep him.
But this is the thing. We have got to look at, if we want to make this football club and we want an Enoch, want to challenge for honours regularly and be back up there, we are going to have to become ruthless, whether we like it or not. And these kind of conversations that we're having, one of them may go. I'm not saying I'd want anyone to go, but if you look at like when Liverpool needs to revitalise their whole midfield, they would have got McAllister, Endo, that's what they did. When United this season needed to, like, this front line ain't working, they go, all right, Cunha, Sesko, Webo.
Yeah.
That is upgrading.
But that's because they had pure flops in there in Hoyland.
But I'm saying they're being ruthless. They were prepared to go pay the big money.
But what I'm saying is that we've got players in there that we want to keep that are working.
Okay, so let's just say we could bring in them. Just for an example, this is just if we had the opportunity to bring in an Adam Wharton. Not in let's just say the January or the summer, but one of those midfielders have to go. What are you doing?
Bentancur.
Okay, so you Wharton. Okay, so let's just say that's happened. Then let's just say. Who were we talking about just then before midfielder? Let's just think of another midfielder, like a João Gomez. The João Gomez can come through the door. This is just like Bentancur's already gone. Are you getting rid of one of Sarr, Bergvall, Gray, loan, sell, whatever? Or are you going, no, we'll wait and hold off?
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Or a Morgan Gibbs-White, or a Conor Gallagher, or a Stiller.
So for João Gomez, I'm not so sure. But if it's like a Morgan Gibbs-White, the thing is, we're about to sign Morgan Gibbs-White.
Yep.
And maybe, was that instead of Javi? That was going to be instead of Javi, wouldn't it?
Who knows?
Because he would have been our number 10, Morgan Gibbs-White. He would have been our number 10.
Or 8.
Yeah, but if we wouldn't have signed, like, he would have come and Javi wouldn't be here, so he would have been our number 10.
If you were looking at it that way, yeah.
So that's what the plan was for Morgan Gibbs-White, in my opinion. If we sign Morgan Gibbs-White, yeah, someone's going to have to be the full guy. I just don't know who it would be, though.
That's where we are. What we got to look at now, we're all hoping, and I'm like I said, giving them 2 windows. I think a lot of people, you're going to give them a chance. We need to see if they want to make us a bigger and more competitive club. They need to go, right, well, forget this risk averse. We're going to go Elliot Anderson. We're just talking midfielders now. Elliot Anderson or something like that, and drop some heavy money down. Obviously pay the wages, but be like, right, we're not messing around here. We're bringing players in that are elite now. And then if that happens, you got to remember, if we were to sell one of those 3 youngsters, we're making a lot more money back than we bought them for. Also, another aspect that you've got to think of is that some of these youngsters are going to be considered club trained at some point. Yeah, you got that. That's fair. So when they are considered club trained, that opens up more spots in the squad. That's also very true. So I'm not sure. I think Sarr is from next season. I'm not sure if Sarr
if Sarr is one of them. I think he might have signed a few months too late or something.
No,
Pape
so next
Sarr.
season he'll become one.
No, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to at all.
Ever?
I'm not sure. But I think that players like Archie Gray will be able to, Bergvall will be able to.
Yep.
There's a few more players in there, that are going to be able to as well. So when that time comes and they're going to be able to be on that club trained list, it's going to look a whole lot better for us because we're going to have so many more spots available in the squad.
That you're right. But that's obviously waiting.
That's a
that
few
time
downs,
for it to-
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Obviously, they're going to have one eye on that. But we're just talking midfielders there. You can look at it from the front line.
Yeah.
You could. I mean, the real open heart surgery needs to be done on that front line, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If we
Yeah.
look at the defence, you could say with Dragusin, who I think in this system will be so much better. I think if we were to do this in, let's say, 5 months' time, and we're saying who's Frank improved, we'll be saying Dragusin, top of the list, like Van der Ven.
Potentially.
I think he's so much more set for this kind of deeper defending. But you look at that front line, and it does need a lot of work.
Yeah, and I think there's plenty of players. Like in the midfield, I'm struggling to see who I could see exit. I think Bentancur might be even be top of the list. But even though I rate Bentancur, I think Bentancur's a good player. But I think when you look at the forward line, it becomes a bit of an easier decision because you look at Richarlison, you look at Solanke, you look at Brennan Johnson, you look at plenty of players in that forward line. I mean, Tell and Odebear are very young players and they're improving at this moment in time. So we got them. Let's nurture them. The other players like Solanke and Richarlison and Brennan Johnson. I know Brennan Johnson's still fairly young. Moani's on loan, so I doubt we're going to sign him permanently. So you've got all these players, and there's going to be a lot of spots opening in the forward line if we can get these guys off the books.
Yep.
And we probably want to get all these guys off the books. So that regeneration of the forward line is not a quick thing. It's not going to happen in January. It's going to be happening
summer.
January, summer, and maybe even the following summer as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think we looked at it as well when we signed. When it was getting near the end of the window, I think just before Xavi came as well, we're like, if we just signed forwards from now on in, Paulinho had come in and just address that area, I think everyone would have been happy because we could see that front line wasn't Champions League scary, was it? I mean, Champions League team probably look at our front line and go, what? Like the big clubs that we're going to come up against, we do need, and obviously they're where the big money comes in, isn't it? We're not. This is going to be a huge indication of ENIC because I don't see us. I would have it that because we've said as well the loan market's going to be intriguing because of all the players trying to get into their World Cup squad that may not be getting first team football will want loan moves. I think if we drop money, we have to drop money on the left back and sign a left-footed left back permanently. I think there's the forward loan market is going to be quite a fascinating options that will come up. Midfield, maybe not as. But those forwards are going to want to rack their goals up and show that they're on fire for their team, aren't they? So I think the loan market for this one World Cup year could be more interesting than the actual buy-in transfer fee market. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Yeah. If I said to you, we're only signing 2 players this January, a left back and one other position, which other position are you choosing?
And we're not counting Paulinho becoming permanent in this.
No, January. It's got to be January. Yeah, new players.
Okay. Left back for sure. Oh.
Do you think it would be maybe a hybrid, someone that can play left wing and striker, potentially?
I kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah.
Could be, but I'm just trying to think now. There's not really an 8 that can do that, is there? Because as I say, I don't think, as much as I think we need sort of striker, if we can't get the ball to him, what's the point? Like we saw, whether it be Richie, Mwani against Chelsea, it's all well and good having a striker there, but if you can't get the ball to him, what the hell is he going to be doing? Feeding off scraps and we see with Xavi, he can't find the movement of players. So I think definitely a left back, and I'd say a left-sided kind of a left-footed 8 that can maybe drift out wide rather than a left winger. What about you?
Well, I kind of agree with people who in the comments, they're saying like ball playing, a deep line midfielder.
So we do like Carrick.
Yeah. I would love Carrick. I would take Carrick in a heartbeat. Someone like a Carrick, someone that can sit deep and dictate the tempo of play.
Do you know what? If we're to think about it, if we're to say these 4 positions we said: left back, 8, left wing, forward. Who from Spurs' heyday? Like, if you had a left back now, who do you think that left back would be?
So left back, I'm taking Danny Rose.
You-
On form Danny
form,
Rose.
okay.
Like
Do you know
Danny Rose in his pomp any day of the week.
do you know what? I was going to say Benoit, but I'm actually going to go for my number 1 fullback in a Spurs shirt, who I love, Christian Ziege.
Christian Ziege. I think Danny Rose would be
Christian
just-
Ziege at set pieces as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So Christian Ziege. Okay,
So Danny Rose left back, you're going Christian
Christian Ziege.
Ziege. And the ball playing midfielder, you know who this team needs? Moussa Dembele, man. I know he's not the kind of dictating the tempo. He's not that kind of player, but I feel like Moussa Dembele in this team would just be incredible.
I'm going to go.
Well, you know what, Luka Modric.
That's exactly. You just done what I was going to say.
Luka Modric,
just
man.
done what I
Forget
was-
Dembele. Luka Modric.
You just take my one. All right, now you said Luke. Let me think of another one. All right, number 8. A number 8. Oh my God, I wish I hadn't said. Let me think of another one.
A lot of people in the comments saying Glenn,
Yeah, I'm going Premier League.
Premier
In
League.
case I would have gone Gaza.
Well, it could easily be Carrick.
Yeah, I gave you Carrick, and then you took my. Yeah, I'm going to go Carrick, people. Carrick. Okay, left winger.
Left
you're gonna
winger. I'm not going to say Ginola.
I'm going to then. So
You're going to say Ginola. Left wing, I mean, I'm going to go Gareth Bale. I know, you know what? I'm going to go Prime Sonny. That's what we need right now. It's Prime Sonny.
I'm going David Ginola because people are saying how we need a spark of creativity. I mean, Gareth Bale does it, but I think David Ginola. Okay,
We need Prime Sonny right now. Someone that can get 15
forward.
plus
There's only
goals.
one man.
Striker, yeah. Bring him home. Bring him home right now. Harry
If
Kane.
it couldn't be Harry Kane,
What striker, apart from Harry Kane, would I bring back
Premier League.
in his prime at Spurs? I'd probably go Berbatov.
He's playing up
Berbatov.
for the one, isn't he?
It's got to be Berbatov. He can do it all.
He could. I loved Dimitar Berbatov. He's an absolute footballing genius.
I
But
always
think-
hated him for the way he left, but you
Oh,
just can't
mate.
hate him, you know what I mean?
Mate, but that was in the day when we were a selling club, weren't we? And we just pulled our pants down for every chairman that would offer big money. All right, I don't want to go Dimitar because you have. It'll be, mate, it's so different for me. I'd either go Teddy.
Teddy.
I'd either go Teddy because midfielders would run on, or the man we spoke about, Jermaine. Oh, no! No. Jurgen Klinsmann. Jurgen Klinsmann.
Jurgen the German.
Yeah, mate. Jurgen Klinsmann with David Ginola or Gareth Bale or Sonny, as you said, with Carrick or Modric, and with Danny Rose or Christian. Oh, Klinsmann.
Mate,
Oh,
we're just building our best Spurs 11 of all
Mate,
time.
we just filled in the gaps. Could you imagine those players that we just said in their pomp in this team?
Oh, mate.
That's what he
Incredible.
needs to do. Thomas Frank just needs to find players of that quality.
Yeah.
That's easy, isn't it?
Easy job, mate.
Easy job.
Absolutely easy job. Recruitment team better get to bloody work.
Because you hire us as a recruitment team, we'll give you the
Yeah,
recommendations.
hire us as the recruitment team. You end up with some 40-year-olds in your team,
It'd be
50-year-olds.
like Mike Bassett, wouldn't it? Benson and Hedges.
Exactly. Ginola would rock up with smoking 20 cigarettes. You know what I mean?
It'd be Sunday property, wouldn't it?
But yeah, look, it's clear to see a lot of work to do for Spurs.